All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to talk about Gervonta Davis, Floyd Mayweather, and very, 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 very subtle accusations made by Eddie Hearn and a warning to Gervonta Davis. Man, this man is wild, man. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. In this video, we are talking about the 135-pound division, biggest star in boxing below the weight of 147 pounds, Gervonta Tank Davis, who gets once again approached by Eddie Hearn, but in this time, Eddie Hearn throws a major shot at Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Leonard Ellerbe. Underhanded, little slick comment that should not be ignored. But before I get into that, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are a longtime subscriber and supporter to the channel, I can't tell you how much I really appreciate you guys coming by, checking out the videos and the live streams that we do and chopping it up with me in the comment section. Also, if you're new to the channel or your first time by or you're just not subscribed yet, please accept my invitation to subscribe to the channel. Hit that hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon so that you can be notified of when we release more videos, which we do on a daily basis, and the live streams we have pretty much every day of the week. So always really good boxing conversations to have. So here we go. Gervonta Tank Davis was in a big back and forth with Floyd Mayweather Jr. Well, it actually wasn't a back and forth with Floyd Mayweather Jr. It was just a constant conversations going on in the media about whether or not Gervonta Davis was going to stay with or re-sign with Mayweather Promotions. Eddie Hearn had been making big pitches at him, directly, indirectly, saying, look, if you are not signed with Floyd, we will make you a huge, huge offer. And then he got served with what he referred to as legal papers for approaching Gervonta Davis, which would make you presume that Gervonta Davis is either still signed with Mayweather Promotions or that he re-signed with Mayweather Promotions. None of that has been specifically laid out, but whatever the case is, Eddie Hearn just takes a absolutely big shot at Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Leonard Ellerbe in another pitch to get Gervonta Davis to consider signing with him. He tried to be slick talk it, but there ain't that much slick talking in the world. Now, first of all, you got to understand that if Gervonta Davis is signed with Mayweather Promotions, Eddie Hearn is prohibited from trying to talk to Gervonta Davis and try to get Gervonta Davis to sign with him, because that would pretty much be approaching him and trying to convince him to breach his agreement that he has, a promotional agreement he has with Mayweather Promotions. And Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Boxing could then open themselves up to be liable for intentional interference with contractual relations, in trying to entice Gervonta Davis to break his contract with Floyd and come back and go over to Eddie Hearn. Now, the thing where Eddie Hearn played like real lowball is because he said, look, we would never approach him. We never in a million years approach Gervonta Davis if we knew that he was under contract. However, he's saying things, is he signed? Is he? I don't know. I presume that he is signed, but I don't know. However, I will tell you this. If I was in the position of Gervonta Tank Davis, I would look at my pay-per-view buys, look at the stadium and say, hold on, man, how much am I getting paid? And how much are these guys getting paid? Because if he just so happened was available to be signed by Matchroom Boxing, what was the phrase that he used? He would own the pot, right? Own the pot, as in, and the only way that I can really interpret that, because you have different, he's from the UK, so they have different phrases, different slang, different phrases. But if you think about them hard enough, you can come around to what they mean. But own the pot has to be mean this, like there's all the money that is going to be made from an event would be in the pot, right? So you have pay-per-view buys in the pot, you have your gate in the pot, you would have the TV rights in the pot, right? All of those different things in the pot. And so therefore, Gervonta would own the pot, right? And then from the pot, he would pay out everybody else. If he didn't own the pot and somebody else owned the pot, then they would be getting paid. They would be saying, okay, this is how much I'm going to make, and this is how much money you're going to make, Gervonta. And that would be them being the boss and Gervonta Davis being the employee. He says, he being Eddie Hearn says, at Matchroom, the boxers own the pot. Anthony Joshua owns the pot. With the zone, once Canelo Alvarez was no longer with Oscar De La Hoya, Canelo Alvarez, owned the pot, and Matchroom Boxing or Eddie Hearn would work for him and pretty much lay out everything for him so that he knew where all the money was, and then from where all the money is, then Eddie Hearn would then get paid, right? So implying that is not the case right now with Gervonta Davis and Floyd Mayweather. But he didn't just stop at Floyd Mayweather. He also said, if you look at Bob Arum, and talk to Bob Arum and you say, hey, Bob Arum, who works for who? Does the boxer work for the promoter or does the promoter work for the boxer? However, he's like, but yeah, Bob Arum would say, yeah, we work for the boxer. However, it would be hurting him on the inside to say that because he knows that's not true, which honestly, in this very rare instance, I have to agree with Eddie Hearn in that regard, because if you have to wait on other people to give you fight dates and they control the budget for the people that are paying you, you might say that you work for that guy, right? Bob Arum, using Bob Arum specifically, Bob Arum has a budget. My understanding is that he has a budget from ESPN, and there is a direct contract between ESPN and Top Rank to put on fights. And then from there, he will select the fighters that he wants to put on different fight cards and on different dates. So in that regard, they work for him. He does not work for them, despite all of the talk that people do about, ultimately the promoter works for the fighter. Nah, man, I think that you're playing a little bit of wordsmith, a little bit of word gaming right there. And Eddie Hearn definitely has a point. However, it is nothing to call a couple forensics accountants and figure out exactly how much money is being paid for what the television rights are, what the gate was, what the pay-per-view buys are, and who is spending what money you're charging me and what money I'm getting paid. All of that stuff can be done with a good forensic accountant that is in there and representing you and also something that your manager should be doing, right? However, man, I just thought that was funny. Eddie's still trying to desperately pitch this guy and get Gervonta. Dude, Gervonta ain't going nowhere. And taking these silly shots at Floyd Mayweather Jr. ain't really going to make any difference whatsoever. And Gervonta Davis, because he does have Gervonta Davis Promotions, I know who his manager is. He has one of the best managers with the best reputation in the world for treating fighters fairly and letting them know what money they make in the name of Al Haymon. So Al Haymon, I'm sure that Gervonta trusts Al Haymon and that Al Haymon is going to have a proper accounting of his money when it's time to get paid. Because guess what? Al Haymon is the manager of Gervonta Davis, gets paid off of what Gervonta Davis gets paid. He gets a percentage of the cut of the purses. So there right then is the majority of the money that Al Haymon himself will make. Now, I don't doubt that PBC gets something from the networks and all of that, but it is what it is. Anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about in this video. I think Eddie Hearn's hilarious. And honestly, man, just go on to Australia and leave that man Gervonta alone. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.